I had barely unloaded the last moving box when the HOA came marching down my gravel driveway like they were reenacting some colonial land grab, and leading the charge was none other than Victoria Ashworth. Perfect hair, flawless blazer, wielding a clipboard like it was a scepter of judgment. "We need to discuss the lake," she barked, not even pretending to introduce herself. I blinked, still sweating from carrying my mattress inside. "The what now?" "The lake," she repeated, gesturing dramatically to the glittering body of water nestled at the edge of my property, which, according to Pine Ridge Lakeside Community bylaws, is a shared natural resource that falls under HOA oversight. She said oversight, like she expected me to hand her keys to something. I introduced myself. Adam Cole, 38, freelance geologist. Just moved from Arizona after buying what was supposed to be my dream lakeside retreat. 3 acres of forested paradise, complete with a private dock and a weathered old boathouse. A place to breathe again after years of burnout and a messy breakup. Victoria didn't care. Behind her, 2 other HOA board members flanked her like lackeys. Dennis, the kind of guy who wears socks with sandals and takes meeting minutes like they're court transcripts, and Cheryl, who scowled at my kayak like it had personally offended her. As a member of the Pine Ridge HOA, you're required to comply with all aquatic access rules. That includes boat registration, monthly dock usage fees, and lake access scheduling, Victoria snapped, flipping through papers like she was about to slam a gavel. "Monthly fees?" I echoed. "I own this land, and the dock came with the deed." That's when Victoria's face hardened. "Ownership of shoreline does not entitle you to exclusive usage of shared resources. Your dock connects directly to water that belongs to the Pine Ridge community." I stared at her. "Lady, I just got here." "And already violating 3 codes," she hissed. "Unregistered watercraft, non-compliant dock dimensions, and failure to attend the quarterly HOA orientation." I glanced toward the lake, my lake, and tried not to laugh. She really thought she could barge onto my property, slap some imaginary rulebook in my face, and walk away with control of my shoreline like she was the queen of HOA land. But what she didn't know, what none of them knew, was that this entire lake, every shimmering inch of it, wasn't just part of my view. I owned it. Not metaphorically, not spiritually, literally. I hadn't mentioned it because I didn't think I'd need to. But I guess now was the time to explain that I hadn't just bought a house. I had bought the water rights too. See, the previous owner, a reclusive biology professor named Dr. Franklin, had quietly separated the water rights from the rest of the properties surrounding the lake decades ago. Apparently, it was some academic project involving freshwater mollusk habitats or something. And when I bought the land from his estate, those rights transferred to me, dock access and all. And I had the paperwork to prove it. I could drain it, fish it, hell, I could paddle across it in a giant inflatable banana wearing nothing but a cowboy hat, and no one could say squat. But Victoria wasn't ready to hear that yet. Not until she played all her cards. The next morning, I woke up to find bright orange violation notices duct-taped to my mailbox, my dock, my front door, and even my grill cover. Cheryl had posted photos in the Pine Ridge Facebook group with captions like, "New neighbor, same old selfishness," and "Dock Gate Day 2, still no compliance." The comments were venomous. Who does this guy think he is? Probably bought the house at auction. No respect for rules. We need to vote him out. Vote me out of what, exactly? Ownership? This wasn't a condo board. It was starting to feel like a poorly written reality show where the villain was logic. Then Dennis came by, all fake friendly like he wasn't the same guy who just posted a passive-aggressive meme about entitled lakefront jerks. He handed me a formal summons to an urgent compliance hearing at the HOA's next meeting. "You can bring legal counsel if necessary," he said, adjusting his bifocals. "We'd prefer to resolve this peacefully." That's when I decided to end the show. I walked into the next HOA meeting, held in Victoria's immaculately staged living room that smelled like cinnamon and manipulation, and waited until she gave her little speech about community unity and shared resources before I pulled out a certified copy of the water rights deed. It was quiet. Too quiet. You could hear the cork in Cheryl's overpriced mineral water bottle pop. "This can't be right," Victoria said, voice tight, scanning the paper with shaking hands. "This says you own the entire body of water?" "That's correct," I said. "From the East Cove to the old boathouse, including every square inch your docks sit on." A weird choking noise came from Dennis's throat. "Meaning?" I nodded. "Meaning your docks are on private property. My private property." Then I let the silence sink in before I added, "Technically, every time any of you launched a boat, fished off a pier, or held those lakefront yoga classes, you were trespassing." The room exploded, Dennis muttering legal jargon like a broken AI bot. Cheryl whisper-yelling about how her grandkids swam there every summer. Victoria demanding to see real documents like I'd just forged the county records using crayons in spite. And then she made her fatal mistake. She threatened me. "If you try to enforce this," she said, voice ice-cold, "we will take collective legal action. The community won't stand for this kind of land hoarding." I smiled. "I welcome it. Because every day you keep your docks on my lake without permission, I get to file for rent. Retroactive rent. And judging by the records, you've been using it for 6 years." That's when she finally cracked. Victoria lunged for the document like she could somehow undo it with enough dramatic flair. But I was already dialing my lawyer. "You'll be hearing from Sarah Kim," I said cheerfully, "and from the county assessor, since technically I can now file for a tax reassessment on every dock structure and increase your dues accordingly. Oh, and the paddleboat races. They're done. No permit, no water." 2 weeks later, their docks were dismantled. HOA tried to hold an emergency vote to dissolve the entire board, but Victoria fought it tooth and nail, blaming outside agitators and technical loopholes for the whole fiasco. She eventually resigned after someone anonymously leaked screenshots of her private messages, mocking low-income residents and calling my house a tin can with ideas. As for me, I hosted a barbecue on the now completely empty lakefront, invited the quiet neighbors, the ones who never liked Victoria's reign of terror but were too afraid to speak up. We grilled, we laughed, and yes, I did paddle out onto the lake in an inflatable banana boat, because freedom tastes better with a little pettiness. These days, my biggest problem is keeping ducks off the dock, and let me tell you, they're a lot less noisy than an HOA president with a god complex. So the next time someone comes onto your land talking about shared resources and community values, make sure you check the fine print, because sometimes the thing they want the most already belongs to you.